Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and on today's video we'll be looking at the Ranger 2C 4 megapixel version, and actually I'm recording this intro on it, on that camera just there. Keep watching to find out more. Okay, so in today's video we'll be taking a look at the new Ranger 2C 4 megapixel from Imou. Now they've kindly sent it to us for review purposes, and actually they sent us the old version as well. So we've got the Ranger 2C, which is the standard version, 2 megapixel, 1080p. And we've also got the new version, which is the Ranger 2C 4 megapixel, which is essentially kind of 2.7K resolution. Although it does work at 1080p and all those kinds of things as well if you want to. Option to switch it between standard definition and high definition, and as you can probably see from the footage that we're recording already. Now actually we're recording this footage via the camera itself, which is going into the Imou app on my Windows PC, and I'm then using OBS to capture the actual screen recording. So between that there may be a few little things which kind of degrade the actual footage a little bit, but I think you can pretty much get the idea of what this is actually like. Considering this is a security camera, I think the footage is absolutely stellar. I've had a quick look on the screen to the side of me and I've been playing around with this today, and yeah, it is pretty much mind-blowing. You could quite easily use this, if you don't want to use it as a security device, you could quite easily use it for streaming. So say for instance you're someone who has, I don't know, maybe bird's nests in your garden and you want to have a camera focused on that and you want to stream it to people on the internet through YouTube and OBS, that kind of thing. This thing's absolutely perfect for that kind of thing. But also as well, it is a surveillance device, or for keeping an eye on your kids, home, pets, whatever you want to be. So no, that's a intro. Let's take a look at the packaging, do the unboxing, see what we actually get. Then we'll take it for a bit of more of a test drive, show you some more features, and then we'll come back with my final thoughts. But to be honest with you, there's probably not much point because you can probably already tell I'm very smitten with this little camera. Anyway, let's get into it. Okay, so let's start off with taking a look at the packaging, as is usually what we do on an unboxing channel. So as you can see, if I turn it around the right way, oh, it is around the right way. This is the Imou Ranger 2C 4 megapixel. So yeah, definitely upgraded in terms of image quality and bit rates, all those kinds of things. You still got all the usual classic stuff that you get from the Rangers and from most of the Imou range, such as you get your night vision. Obviously you get smart tracking on this one as well, because this is a 360-degree camera. So there is a kind of gimbal type effect in here to the actual lens. So it can track up, down, left, right, and also in a circle as well. So depending where you actually have this mounted, if you've got it mounted in a particularly obscure place, it will actually track people, and it will also track sounds as well. So if this thing for some reason is gone a little bit doolally, which they do from time to time, and it's looking at a blank wall, if you walk into a room or it hears a noise which it seems to be in a different direction, the camera will actually rotate itself in the direction of where the sound or the motion is coming from, which is, yeah, absolutely brilliant. We like that a lot. And it works really well for us in the house already. We've got one of these, at least the older version, the original Ranger, which is in our living room, and it's been doing a fantastic job for the last, what, 18 months, 2 years or so. So really happy with that one. So this is 4 megapixels, so that's quad HD, so kind of 1440p. It's not really 1440p, although it is filling that amount of pixels. When it comes down to a lot of these specifications, obviously it's down to things like the bit rate and the compression. Now this uses H.265 compression, which actually in some cases can be a fantastic quality. Now for something like this, obviously 4 megapixels isn't a great deal of depth, so there is going to be a little bit of loss in the translation, so it is going to have that slightly compressed look to it. But yeah, when you compare this against a £700 camera, there's obviously going to be some difference, but I think it still looks absolutely amazing. It's the best one I've seen so far. So as we said, we've got the tilt on there, 360 tilt, and actually a really nice looking device. It doesn't really look that obnoxious. It's the sort of thing you can quite easily put somewhere. People know it's a security device of some sort, but it doesn't kind of glare at you. And of course, when it comes to privacy, if you want to, you can just turn the camera off. There is a way you can do it, just turn the shutter down, or you can go into the app itself and go into privacy mode, and that way it'll give you yeah, a little bit of privacy. But I think really the main thing of this is, even though it doesn't look totally obnoxious like one of those old-fashioned security cameras, it still looks like it is actually a surveillance device of some sort. So if you've got people coming into your house or into your property, whatever the case may be, they know what it is, or at least they've got a pretty good idea what it is, and they've got a pretty good idea that they're being watched. So they're unlikely to do things. So if you're, maybe your kids have got some other kids around and you're having a little bit of a party, having a bit of a messing around in your house, it's unlikely they're going to do something particularly stupid because they know they're being watched. So it gives you that element of security, and obviously you can monitor these from either a Windows PC, your iPad, or your iPhone, Android devices, all that kind of stuff. It's really easy to monitor it, so you don't actually have to be near a computer as such. You can use your mobile and just gain access to your cameras pretty much anywhere you are in the world, as long as you've got internet access. So anyway, that's enough waffling. Let's look at some of the specs. Now there's actually a ton of specs there, so I'll give you a close-up of this, but this is yeah, quite a lot. So 4 megapixel QHD, two-way talk, so you can talk through it as well to each other. You've got sound detection, you've got pan and tilt, you've got smart tracking, privacy mode, night vision, alarm zones, cloud or SD card, or you can use it with something like your Synology or your Asus Store NAS, so you can actually use it in surveillance stations using OnVIF, that kind of thing. Also got human detection, motion detection, Wi-Fi enabled. It has actually got its own built-in access point, so if your internet goes down for some reason, you can connect directly to it, and also for setting up initially as well. Got mobile alerts, you've got alarm scheduling, so you can set it so that the alarm is only active at certain times of the day. So if it's in a business property, obviously you can set it for kind of like 9 till 5, or whenever your shop opens and closes, or maybe if you've got staff working late, then you can set it for those kinds of times as well. Very flexible in that respect. You've got geofencing as well, so you can put it so it goes into kind of privacy mode or doesn't record when you're actually in the house. So if you've got your mobile device, it knows where you are because the app's on your phone, and it'll basically shut the system down so it doesn't record you whilst you're home. Absolutely brilliant for security and privacy, that kind of stuff. And you've also got up to 16 times digital zoom. And actually I find this particularly useful. Kath and I were going to bed the other night, and there was some drunk lady outside talking to some guy, and it's like, what is going on out there? I know, go onto the driveway camera, zoom in and see what the heck is going on. And it was actually really good, and it was reassuring. We knew it was just a couple having some sort of tiff, so leave them to it, let them carry on. But it could have been prowlers, burglars, whatever, but at least we knew, and we could zoom in to see their faces, etc, etc. So excellent stuff. Anyway, that's enough of all that. Let's take it out of the box and see what we actually get. So first of all, you're greeted with the Imou Quick Start Guide. Actually, these things are really simple and straightforward to set up. Actually, the hardest thing for me actually was deciding on a password. One of those things that you have to do when you set it up. So literally go to Imou site or download the apps from the Play Store or iOS stores, that kind of thing. Download it, install it, and the rest of it is pretty much straightforward. Next up is the camera itself, which we'll take a closer look at shortly. And last of all, we've got things like our accessories. So you've got your activate your warranty card, so you can actually get an extended warranty on there, and potentially a free gift as well, so you can register on that. Also, there's contact details should you have any issues. But if you do get any problems, then feel free to drop me an email and I'll try and help you out, or join our Discord chat server and maybe I'll be able to help you out on there. Right, in terms of actually using the device and mounting hardware, what do we get? So start off with, there is a template, so there's some drill holes there. You can actually mount this if you wanted to. There is a mounting option, which I'll show you shortly, which is this little piece of plastic there. So that just fits into the bottom of the device, just twists on. So you can screw this into a, I don't know, a ceiling, a wall or something, and you can attach your camera to there, or maybe to a shelf, that kind of thing, just to give it a little bit more security so people are less likely to move it or kind of push it out of the way. So potentially that is going to be very useful. You get some mounting hardware, so you get some wall plugs and some screws. There's also a USB cable, so it's micro USB on one end. Sadly, they've not gone over to USB Type-C yet, which I'm looking forward to them doing, but they're on micro USB, which is fine. Actually, slightly easier to get through holes if you're maybe mounting it outside or somewhere discreet. But yeah, nice long cable there, about 2.5 meters long, and also in white as well, so it's quite discreet. So if you've got it up on a shelf or something, then you can hide the cable pretty easily. And also you get your mains power plug. So this uses a 13 amp main socket for the UK. Obviously in other regions you'll get one specific to your region. Low power requirements as well. I did notice this. This is only 5 volts, 1 amp. So pretty much any of these USB type chargers will be absolutely fine for powering your device. Good to see, because quite often you get some of the other cameras on the market which require 5 volts, 2 amps, maybe even slightly more. So obviously it's just using more energy. Low energy saves money. Absolutely great. So that's it for the accessories. Let's take a closer look at the camera. So here is the camera itself, and actually I think it looks pretty cute. It's not offensive in any way, but obviously if you wanted to, you can mount it upside down. You can flip the image, so you can use that mounting bracket, as we said, clips on into the bottom there, so you can roof mount it, and then it can follow people around and actually look quite a lot like a normal security device that you get in shops and businesses, that kind of stuff. But I think when it's on a shelf or it's just set up like that, it's pretty inoffensive. It doesn't look particularly bad. And again, you've got the twist, so you can move around through the 360 degrees of movement, and also you've got up and down as well. You can move this yourself manually. In fact, when you get this thing to start up, you do have to do that. So when you first get it, you'll need to move the camera to the up position, and then that'll give you access in this back door here for your micro SD card. So you can put micro SD cards in there. I would suggest, if you are going to put a micro SD card in there, especially now this is a higher bit rate and better quality, try and get a decent SD card. You'll find it lasts you a lot longer, or perhaps even get one which is specifically for surveillance type cameras. There's tons of them on Amazon. I'll put some links of those in the video description below as well, so you can check those out. Definitely worth doing. Also of note, in this area there is a reset button, so you press and hold that and you can reset this back to the factory defaults. I kind of like the fact that it's hidden there, so if someone sees the camera and they've done something they shouldn't and they want to steal the SD card, which is pointless because you're probably recording it on some other form as well, such as the cloud service, an NVR, or even on your Windows PC. But yeah, there's no obvious place where the SD card goes, so the fact that it's actually hidden under there is convenient, obviously, because there's somewhere to put it, but it's also helping be secure because, well, you don't know where it is. On the back, you've got a speaker output on there as well, and on the front there is a IR light and also a microphone. So you can have a two-way conversation. So say, for instance, you've gone on your holidays and you're talking to your kids, or maybe your cats, your pet, your dog, or whatever. You can say hello to your dog through the microphone on your phone or your iPad or whatever, and it'll come out the speaker there, so you can have a conversation with your dog or your budgie or other family pet. On the bottom, again, we've got some rubberized pads there, so if you are going to put it onto a surface, it doesn't want to kind of skid around, holds it in place very nicely. But yeah, overall, I think it's a great little design. It's worked for a long time. It's a very popular design. A lot of companies try to use this sort of thing, and yeah, it just works, so why change it? They did do a range at one point where you could get kind of these little covers that went on the top, so if you are putting it into a kid's room, then you could have a slightly different kind of novelty top on it, which yeah, I think that still is an option. Whether or not it works for the 2C 4 megapixel, I'm not entirely sure. If it does, again, I'll link those in the video description for you also. So I think that is pretty much it for the camera itself. I think the best thing to do now is to get it fired up, and you can have a closer look at the interface and also the options that you've got within the interface. So let's do that. Okay, so this is an audio test of the Imou Ranger 2C 4 megapixel version. The audio in this room isn't particularly great, obviously. The microphone is there, but it's in like a alcove, so there's going to be a bit of echo, that kind of thing. And obviously, you get things like the compression artifacts. So this isn't going to be obviously studio quality recording, but you can hopefully hear my voice and hear what I'm saying and make out what the message is I'm trying to say. So obviously, if you've got a child or an animal or whatever, you can hear it. Also, the microphone is designed to pick up things like sharp noises to activate the recording. So if there's like a loud clap or a smash, say for instance one of the front windows over here, if the window got knocked or smashed, then potentially it's going to pick up that as well. And obviously if you drop something, smash something, it's going to pick up that. Things like smoke alarms, that sort of stuff, it's designed to pick that up. So yeah, anyway, that is an example. The day is pretty dark out there today, so it's like, well, just on 5 o'clock in the afternoon here in the United Kingdom. It's a pretty grey, murky day, so hopefully the low light sensor is working well, picking up the image and looking pretty decent. We're going to come back into this a little bit later on and do some night vision testing, just so you can see what it's like with the night vision on and with the IR light, so you can see in the dark, that kind of stuff. But yeah, there we go. That is a audio and visual test of the camera. This is being recorded in OBS on my PC at 1080p. The input from the camera is coming through pretty much as best it can do in the app. It's set to the high definition mode. So yeah, hopefully it looks pretty good, pretty clear, pretty sharp. So let's go back in, we'll check out the app, we'll look at some of the features in the app, go through some of the settings you can do, the pan tilt zoom settings, that kind of stuff, arming activation, and then again after we'll come back with some night vision tests to see what it's like in darkness. So let's get back onto the PC. So when you first log into the app, we'll make it full screen, and you've got a choice of your cameras. On the side there, you can actually set individual logos for each one so you know which one is which. We're going to go with the living room 4 megapixel, which is this one here. Press play, and there we go. So the first thing you're going to see is the living room. Now you can tell the footage at the moment is pretty awful, and you can see by the bit rate at the top here, it's only like 20 kilobytes per second. So this is in SD mode. So if you want to get the better picture, you need to click down here on the HD button. That gives you a much better image. And if you want to listen to what is going on through your Windows PC, you can click on the speaker icon here, so enable audio, and you can check out your various things. So this is playback, that is your cloud storage, and that is your SD card, so you can review SD card footage. Down the bottom here, you've got snapshots, record. You can actually record what you see on the screen. So if you want to save it for some reason, if you're monitoring it, you can do. Enable talk. If you click on that, if you've got a microphone connected to your PC, you can then have a two-way conversation with whoever's actually in the area there. You've also got your PTZ, or pan, tilt and zoom. So if you click on this, you then get the joystick on there, so you can manually move the camera. And you can find the spot which is right for you. So in this particular instance, we can see people walking up to the front door, should there be anyone coming that way, and also you can see people walking up the stairs and people coming into the room. Obviously the camera will try and automatically go to where you want it to go. You've also got here the option for privacy mask, which basically puts the camera in a kind of sleep mode. So we won't do that because obviously we want to see what's going on. You can go into other settings, you can make it full screen, etc. If you right click, you've got options for close video, close all videos, alarm record, device details, capture, start recording, enable talk, stream, PTZ, all that stuff, close audio, original size. Let's do original size, there we go. So that is giving you the kind of like the best possible picture quality. Actually looks pretty decent. The clarity is really there. There's not much aliasing going on, and even in HD it's streaming at it's a variable bitrate, so about 80 kilobytes per second. When there's nothing moving, it will actually automatically vary it and go down to a very low bitrate. As soon as you start moving around, it will jump up to around about 160 to 180 kilobits per second, which is pretty good considering how compressed it is. So again, settings wise, you can click on if you want to, the timers, the play, or the device details. So if you go into device details, so you get all your options in here, it gives you your serial numbers, etc. And you can choose to do a free trial of the cloud storage plan should you wish to. You can enable that or disable it. You've also got the record option, you can enable or disable. So this is all device details, privacy mask, your indicator lights, camera image switch, so you can flip it 180. If you've mounted it to a ceiling, audio recording, you can turn on or off, time zone settings, and your SD card status, should there be any problems, etc. If you go into ARM setting, then we get options for motion detection, so you can turn motion detection on or off to get notified, etc. Alarm notifications, so you get the push notifications after it's enabled, so if there's anyone that triggers it, then it will be sent to your mobile phone or your iPad or your mobile device. Smart tracking is for turning the camera so it actually kind of tracks people. If you want to turn it off, maybe again, like I said earlier in the video, if you want to maybe record a bird's nest or something, you want it to be static, then you can turn off smart tracking. It will remain wherever the PTZ is set to. Human shape detection, so if, so for instance, a cat walks in the room, it won't set off the alarm or start triggering the recording, but if it's a human, then obviously it will do. You can turn it on or off. Again, if you want it to detect cats or dogs, then you can turn that off and it will detect everything that moves in the field of vision. Also, you've got your arming schedule, so you can set it so that it only arms at certain times of the day, very easy to do and change. And you've got the motion detection sensitivity, so the default is 3, you can either lower it right down or raise it, etc. And then you've got activity zones. Now this is probably more relevant to a camera when it's set in a static position, so you can actually make it so that it only goes in certain areas. So motion detection is in orange, non-motion is in black. So if you don't want it to be triggered every time somebody walks past the doorway, such as here, you can just get rid of all those. And that is your mask set. So then it would only trigger if someone actually enters the room and moves past the doorway, which might be beneficial in some instances. And also if you want to, if you don't want to be disturbed by people coming to your front door where they can see through the glass there, then you can block out all those kinds of things and anything traveling around. So you get a general idea. You can, if you want to do a bulk one, you can do inverse. So now it will only track if someone comes by the window or in the door. Anything moving around inside will be absolutely fine. If you want to save it, click save. I was going to cancel that. And there we go. So that is pretty much it for the settings. There's various other bits and pieces you can go to in the app, and also when you're actually on the mobile device. But yeah, that is a pretty decent overview. Yep, I think I've pretty much covered it all there. So again, if you want to, you can have this showing all your cameras, up to 16 of them at one time on the screen, a 4-way, or you can have 9, depending on how many cameras you got, or just a single one if you want to monitor it. So yeah, overall, pretty cool. Like it a lot. Okay, so there you go. We've had a quick look at the app itself on Windows 11. Actually, I like the app a lot. It's one of those things which a lot of the other manufacturers of these kind of security cameras and PTZ cameras, they don't often offer Windows availability. So you have to use your mobile devices, etc., which can be a real pain. I actually really like having this available on my desktop. I can have it on any of my desktop PCs. All you have to do is log in with your username and password. So again, if you want someone else to monitor things, you can do. You can give someone else a password. You can do sharing as well. So you can actually add someone else's email address and set them up an account. That is for the cameras and also the app. So yeah, it is a really fully featured system. Now, I guess we really should start talking about price. Now, the price of this at the moment is going to be variable because it is very new on the market, and Imou, in their wisdom, always offer really good discounts. So at the moment, there's roughly about a 20% discount on the retail price, which will be shown on the screen probably down there. It does change a lot, so I'm not going to say a specific price. I will check this just before I edit the video and I'll put the current price. If you want to know what the current price is in your particular region or from the Imou site itself, all the links for that kind of stuff will be in the video description, so you can just go ahead and click on those and you get the very latest price. And also if there's any discount vouchers, discount codes, etc., which Imou have passed on to me to pass on to you, then I will put those in there as well. And maybe even in the comments section, I'll pin something on there so you can get some really quick access should you need to. So other than actually showing you some of the night vision footage, which we'll show you on the screen now while I'm still jibber jabbering on, I think that's going to pretty much wrap this one up. As far as I can see, they've come on a really long way. Imou cameras, I've always liked them. We use them as a family. I highly recommend them to anyone else if they're interested in getting a little bit of home surveillance, a little bit of extra security. Very easy to use. The support structure is there. If you ever get any problems, just a quick email is very easy to do, and you generally get an answer within 24 hours. So that is a really good thing. Great range of products, great range of cameras. Wholeheartedly, I can definitely recommend them. I'm not just saying that because they send me them for review purposes. There are cameras that I've actually gone out and bought myself from Imou to add to my system. And that is the beauty of it. It's one of those things where they have a camera for pretty much every kind of thing you want to do. There's the Look, which has got the LED light on it. So if you want to have one in your garden and use it as a PIR sensor as well, you can do that. If you just want something very simple, then you've got the Q, which you can just set up and be a static camera. And again, with the Rangers, there's various different Ranger versions, from the original Ranger, the 2C, and the 2C 4 megapixel, which we've been showing you today. So there is pretty much something for everyone, and prices ranging from as little as £20 at times for the Q, and obviously the sky's the limit if you want to spend more than that. So anyway, let me know what you think about this one in the comment section below. Have you been impressed with the quality? I certainly have, so I'm really interested to hear what you guys think of it. But yep, that's going to wrap this one up. I've been Mike, this is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you not on my security cameras. Thanks for watching.